Out there in space, really far from Earth, floats one of the coolest sights you'll ever see. Saturn with its amazing rings. These rings are just bits of ice and rock all spinning around the planet in a kind of space dance that has amazed people for hundreds of years. Hey there! Welcome to Storywalker's Zone. We're going on a quick trip to learn about these weird and wonderful rings, how they got there, what they're made of, and what they can tell us about our solar system. Before we dive in, don't forget to like and subscribe for more cosmic content. I really appreciate it. Back in 1610, a guy named Galileo pointed his telescope at Saturn and got super confused. He thought the planet had handles or ears on each side. His telescope wasn't good enough to see what these things really were. It wasn't until 1655 that another astronomer named Christian Huygens figured out that Saturn was surrounded by a flat ring. Then in 1675, Giovanni Cassini spotted a gap in these rings, now called the Cassini Division, which showed the rings weren't just one solid piece. Today we know Saturn's rings stretch about 280,000 kilometers across. That's huge. But they're super thin, mostly just 10 meters thick. Think of it like a giant DVD the size of a city, but thinner than a piece of paper. The rings aren't solid at all. They're billions of tiny pieces, from dust specks to chunks as big as houses. Most of these bits are just water ice, which is why the rings look so bright and shiny. When sunlight hits them, they bounce back most of the light. Saturn has 7 main ring groups, named with letters A, B, and C rings. The ones we can see best from Earth are the A, B, and C rings. See that big gap? That's the Cassini Division between the A and B rings. It's nearly 5,000 kilometers wide. It exists because one of Saturn's moons, Mimas, has a gravity pull that kicks particles out of that area. All these ice chunks are zooming around Saturn at different speeds. The inner rings move faster than the outer ones, kind of like how cars on the inside lane of a racetrack go around faster than those on the outside. So, how did these cool rings form? Scientists have a few ideas. One theory says the rings formed when a small moon got too close to Saturn and was, well, ripped apart by its gravity. All the pieces spread out to make the rings we see today. Another idea is that a comet or asteroid smashed into one of Saturn's moons, and the leftover pieces got caught in Saturn's gravity. For a long time, scientists thought the rings were super old, like 4.5 billion years old. But newer data suggests they might be pretty young, maybe only 100 million years old. That means when dinosaurs were walking around on Earth, Saturn might not have had any rings at all. We learned tons about Saturn's rings from a spacecraft called Cassini, which spent 13 years checking out the planet from 2004 to 2017. So Cassini showed us something pretty incredible. Saturn's rings are way more complex than we ever imagined. Like, they're not just flat and smooth. They've got ripples, waves, and even braids, all shaped by the gravitational pull of Saturn's many moons. It's just fascinating to think about, isn't it? And then, there's this. Cassini discovered these weird features in the rings called propellers. They're like little disturbances caused by tiny moonlets, which is pretty wild on its own. Oh, and those strange spokes? They look like dark streaks across the rings. It's amazing how much detail we've uncovered. At the end of its mission, Cassini did something truly bold. It made 22 daring dives between Saturn and its closest rings. And during those dives, it collected some absolutely amazing data. Finally, in 2017, it took its last plunge into the planet. What a way to end such an incredible journey, right? Saturn has 83 moons that we know of, and well, many of them help shape the rings. Small moons like Prometheus and Pandora act like shepherds, using their gravity to keep the ring particles in line. These moons create waves that move through the rings, kind of like how a boat makes waves on a lake. By studying these waves, scientists can learn stuff about Saturn's insides too. The pieces in the rings are always bumping into each other, sometimes sticking together, sometimes breaking apart. It's like a never-ending cosmic game of bumper cars up there. Sadly, Saturn's rings won't be around forever. Right now, tiny bits of ring material are slowly falling into Saturn. Scientists call this ring rain, and well, they think the rings could completely disappear in about 100 million years. So, we're lucky to be alive at just the right time to see them. I mean, if humans had evolved millions of years earlier or later, Saturn might have just looked like another big planet without its amazing rings. Saturn's rings are one of the coolest things in our solar system. Billions of ice chunks all spinning around a giant planet, creating one of space's most awesome sights. As we learn more about them, these rings tell us about Saturn's history and even how our whole solar system formed. They show us that even in the emptiness of space, there's some seriously beautiful stuff out there. If you like this video, hit that like button and subscribe for more space stuff.